What's going on? You are now tuning in with Vtheplug. I'm going to be, keeping all you guys plugged in, as always, with the latest fashionable entertainment and everything going on. And as always, I have my guy Nemo here.
Yeah. Nemo Hose is in the building, baby.
Nemo, what would I do without you? You can't get lost.
You just come find me.
Finding Nemo.
That's kind of hard to do. You know, you disappear and then you end up coming back and then the number disappears,
Bro.
the phones. All right, we okay, you're laughing at us, our special guest right now. With him.
He knows it's true. He even knows.
That's all facts. Big facts. So Nemo, he disappears, but he pop back up.
Wow, see, I was spot on with that. And since you spoke up on the mic, let's introduce you. Why not, Mr. Eric.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Wise up, bless up. It's your man, Eric.
Hell yeah.
Do you go by any other nicknames? Your Instagram name? Because, people be having nicknames.
Can we say what we used to call him?
Well, yeah, they when I first came from LA, they was calling me Crenshaw.
Crenshaw.
So that was in high school, so I kind of just let it fade, but that's what I go by, Crenshaw.
Oh, shoot. And, we have a lot to talk about. Rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle.
Man,
everybody's been
SIP Nip.
going through it. I know that I think I was working and I saw it on TMZ or something on the news, and it hit my heart because what's sad is I barely last year began to know him really as a person. I knew he was a rapper,
right?
But the fact that I got to know him through an interview, one of his interviews that he was on, and just to know how he was as a leader, a man of his word, someone that kept his word to people. He not only was a provider, but he's done so much more. There's so many words for him that you can't even put in one sentence. It's insane, and that's how that's a real hero.
Yes,
definitely. Yeah.
Shout out to the Tastemakers for giving us this platform to be on. We have a special guest here. He was actually born and raised in Nipsey's community. He's the founder of a lifestyle-based brand called TheWiseNWealthy. I introduced him a little bit before, but without further ado, let's get into Eric's story and what he's about. What is up, Eric?
Hey, man, thank you for that. I like that intro. Hello.
Oh, good. I did okay then. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Do you like our show so far?
I love it. I love the vibe a lot.
So let's talk a little bit about how you got here. So Nemo, right?
Yeah, we went to high school together.
Yep.
You guys go back. That's why when I bring people on here, I really want people of value, and I see that in your brand.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about how, the kind of the generic question, how did you get started?
Well, I don't want to be all over the place, but I do just want to give a quick shout to Nipsey, just because growing up in LA, you don't really see.
You can take as long as you want because
this is what this is about.
This is why you're here, okay?
Exactly.
I want to know, you were born and raised in Nipsey's community, Crenshaw.
Born and raised. I went to Crenshaw High School. I lived on 64th and Western for a long time.
That's the front.
Yeah, that's the fronts, man.
That's
I grew
the front.
up right there, right by Gage and Western, where the brims are right there. So it was like playing with death all the time. But growing up, you don't see a lot of models. You just see sports, music, gangbanging, or dealing drugs. That's kind of your ways to make it out the hood.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay, so you were kind of right up there. Nipsey he's only 33.
Yeah.
So
you were right there with him. You've seen it all. So tell me a little bit more about, like you said, what was going on at the time growing up.
Just growing up, especially from Crenshaw, you have no choice but to see what Nipsey's doing. Because at the school that I went to at Crenshaw, it was the same hood that Nipsey's from. Everybody's from 60s, everybody was from 40s, everybody was from 100s, stuff like that. So after school, your homies that you would just go be homies with after school, they were gangbangers. So you was going to the hood, you was going to chill, you was going to do X, Y, and Z. So just Nipsey, man, like I said, you didn't see that coming from the hood. You didn't see a model, you didn't see a mogul that you can see yourself as man, I can be a businessman. I can own my own brand. So that's really one of the reasons why I started TheWiseNWealthy. And another reason was me as an artist coming up with, me and Gabby was just talking about, content is king. I just felt like I was missing something as an artist. It's just so much content, so much skill out there nowadays. I'm like, what's separating me from the next artist? So I want to create me a production company that can support my full vision for my brand and stuff like that.
Where were you in your life when you first discovered who Nipsey was and what he was about?
I was about in 11th grade. I was in 11th grade, and me and my cousins, my grandma still live in LA on like 107th and Figueroa, still in LA. In the back of the garage, we used to just sit and listen to music, smoke up and stuff like that. And the rapper The Game, he did a mixtape with Nipsey Hussle called Red Room Mixtape. And that's how I heard about Nipsey Hussle. And obviously he's from my neighborhood, so I'm like, oh, what, Nipsey Hussle, 6'0", what's up? And I started listening to him, and it was history. And then I was listening to it, but then start actually hearing how he elevated. Like, I watched the whole thing. When he first started, everything was just rolling 60s. Everything was so gang, just super gang. But then he elevated. Then it started becoming about, dirty money get washed on royalty statements. It started becoming bars and gems. And then I was like, yeah, he's on to something.
Yeah. He just steps out of the box, and even though he was from like the background of gangs and Crips and Bloods, like even that sounds scary to me. Like, I don't know how it is. I don't know how it is,
Funny.
But like
it's really fun. I can say it's really fun.
But for him to like step out of like being on both sides, right? I heard something like he wasn't afraid to go around, to either or side, because they knew him. That's true, right? Like,
when you have a hood pass like that, you don't have to have fear no matter what hood you go to, because real recognize real, you know? So they see that you bout something and you gonna help out, they with it all. But if you on some bullshit, they're gonna pull your car real quick. They're gonna pull your whole car real quick.
That's the real thing about LA. Just not even LA, just about the gang culture, the cloth. You gotta be real. If you're not real, they're gonna pull it fast, and you're gonna get embarrassed.
Yeah, and one thing that I like that he said was he taught himself first. So he had to understand himself as a man first to understand everything that he was capable of doing. And I think that's one of like the key things of his life, is that he self-taught himself.
Definitely. And that's what I feel like the problem we have in our community, meaning not just the black community, but the minority community, is that we don't have anybody to look up to for leadership.
Right.
Or is anyone in our lifestyle that's showing us what we need to do with wealth, or, how to transition ourselves into a business mindset. We don't have that. All we know is seeing what our parents did, being on like government assistance and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what he was preaching was amazing.
Man, it was crazy, especially the $1 billion, project that he was working on, trying to put $1 billion into the Crenshaw district.
Yeah.
It's just like, what?
And which I love, he was stopped, because you already know that side of Crenshaw is getting gentrified to the fullest. Gentrified to the fullest. And what he was doing was buying up so much property to keep the neighborhood. Just
to piggyback off what you said, his line, he said on last time that I checked, he said, "This for the pieces I took off of the Monopoly board." And that's exactly what you're talking about. Like, he owned that area, so they couldn't come and gentrify that area. You can still stay here because of me, man. Like, I purchased this area. We can do what we want to do with this area. They can't come and knock it down. They can't come and move us up out of here. And that was one of those underlining bars where I'm just like, this man is the GOAT.
Yeah. One thing he said, he stopped resisting to try and be an artist because he was from Crenshaw and you guys didn't have studios. You guys didn't have the ability to have the production there that you needed to grow as an artist.
Right.
And he kind of stepped out on doing that. And then that's something I kind of see what you're doing, since you are from the same community as Nipsey. Like, you are starting this production company with TheWiseNWealthy, correct?
Correct. That's exactly why. Just because coming up, we were in my grandma's garage, but that was about it. Our mic was in our bathroom. The echo was crazy, but just like my man Nemo said, we had no form of support. I didn't have anyone I can call and be like, yo, man, so what do I need to do for this? What do I need to do to stop getting my vocals to sounding so muffled, or X, Y, and Z? So just people like Nipsey, it just shows us you just got to step out there and teach yourself sometime. Sometimes you got to really just tell your mind that you can do it, and then everything else will take care of itself.
Did you ever personally meet him?
No, I didn't.
No.
Unfortunately, I did not, man. But growing up in like that neighborhood, he's kind of like a regular face. It's not really like a superstar, like, oh my God, Nipsey. Right. It's kind of like he's another guy from the hood, he's, real guy. It's more about respect as opposed to like, oh my God, like starstruck.
It's interesting because he interviewed at the other property of Dash Radio, and that's the last time I seen him. And I got upset at myself for not putting myself out there to telling him about his work and what he's doing for the community. And because I didn't want to seem like starstruck. I wasn't starstruck. I just felt like people were kind of running up to him, wanting to take pictures. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to meet him one day and I'm going to be able to interview, and it's going to happen organically. Like, that's not really.
Exactly.
But
one of my favorite stories that I've seen so far on social media is this woman posted this post on Facebook, and she was like, my husband, he works as one of those light post changers. So what his job is to change lights.
Yeah.
So she was saying that Nipsey would always come out and he would see her husband working, and he would give him water, and he would just be like, yo man, like, do you need anything? And they didn't even know who Nipsey Hussle was until they saw it on the shooting, and they saw, and they were like, oh my God, that's the man that's been helping my husband for so many years.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking, and it's just sad to see like a good person taken away, especially when the value is so high like that. Man. Yeah,
he was raising a bar. That's why I really loved him so much. Just coming from LA, man, it's a mad city. We don't want to see our black kids dying, our brown kids dying. We don't want to see that. But just seeing how Nipsey, I think why I really loved him, he was just setting the bar for gang bangers now. Real gang members. Like, if you're not putting on for your city now, man, like Nipsey did, it's kind of like, what are you doing? If you're not doing what Nipsey was doing, and this was how I felt years ago. Nipsey is really taking care of his community, buying back the block, literally, how these rappers say. So it's like, if you're gang and that's your hood, that's your community, if you're not really making that your hood and your community, it's like, what are you doing? Yeah,
exactly. And seeing all this now and being in your position with your brand and what you're doing, what do you think you've learned from this, from Nipsey, like his work and what he's done?
I've learned ownership. I've learned so much from Nipsey. Ownership, keeping it real. But mainly, I just learned how to just never forget where you came from. Because I'm from LA, but I did go and do high school in the Valley, and it was so hot out there just for the same reasons why, we lost Nipsey. I can't walk down the street wearing blue. I can't walk down the street wearing red. I can't just go to the store without another brother that look just like me going to be like, yo, bro, where you from? And the wrong question, it depends on how things are going to turn out, so a wrong answer, I should say. So, I did lay low in the Valley, and I was just like, man, I really enjoyed this. And I did kind of get away from that essence of just, LA and stuff like that. But every time I listen to Nipsey, again, he brought me right back to LA. He brought me right back to Jesse Owens Park. He brought me right back to, just neighborhood Nip, and that's one of the big things I learned, just never forgetting where you came from.
And the thing that I like about him is he brought knowledge to his music. He really put value and educated on what he's doing. Like in Blue Laces, one of my favorite songs is Blue Laces 2.
Mine too.
Blue Laces 2.
I know. I like both of them, but Blue Laces 2, he talks about Dr. CB, and a lot of people were...
Rest in peace.
They were rest in peace. They were talking about, how the whole is a conspiracy, the shooting, and like, BS. No. Like, this ain't no conspiracy. They said that, what's his name? Eric Holder shot him twice, walked away, and Nipsey tried. Did you guys?
I saw the footage. He walked away and came back, and then
shot him
in the head.
He shot him more after that.
Yeah, I know.
That's if you guys know who Black Sam is, that's his brother.
Yeah.
And he talked to LA Times, and he said he made about 3 trips. He shot him twice. He left. Came back, shot him again. He left, came back, shot him again.
And that's where people start thinking it's a conspiracy theory about Dr. CB, because it was like, this man had a job to do, and it was like he would leave, and it's like, damn, if I didn't kill this dude, they gonna kill me.
Yeah, I agree. So, I don't know about the conspiracy. I don't know. I just know they did it, man. And what I think, me personally, is kind of like what Black Sam was saying. It feel like an execution. It don't feel like a man just got embarrassed and just went home and came back on. It just felt like he had to do it. That's just really what it felt like. He had to do it.
Literally makes me sick. Like, just hearing it. Like, every time we talk about it with people, it just upsets me.
Yeah. And like Nipsey did something for a lot of people when it's just not like, someone passed away. It's like, oh, damn, I feel bad. It's when your spirit feels hurt.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, this dude did a lot.
Man.
I felt it. Like, I feel like a lot of people that didn't even know him, like Gabby said about that lady that didn't even know, like, you could feel the energy. And when you feel the energy and you don't even know too much about a person, that tells you a lot about how great they are.
That's also like, I won't say this individual's name who I was with earlier, but he talked about this earlier, and he was saying how he's seen God do his work, meaning Nipsey Hussle was put on this earth for a purpose, did his thing, and it was God showing us, all right, I'm taking my angel back with me. But with him taking his angel back with him, everybody's starting to come together as well, you know?
Definitely.
So it's like,
I agree. I saw that. I was like the Hoovers and the
the Peachtree.
And the BPS, and I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like,
I was actually a couple days ago, drove down Crenshaw when we passed Slauson and, you know, the Shell gas station and everything. It's lit. It's lit over there.
As it should be, man. He owned that block.
It's lit over there. It's beautiful.
His last song on his album was Right Hand to God. It's when you were talking about that, I just kind of realized that, you know, Right Hand to God.
Hey, and another song after that, it came out, it was just a little single. It wasn't on his album, but it was called Perfect Timing.
Yeah.
Which is dope.
Because everybody was talking about his timing. Everybody was like, man, you 33, Nip, you taking so long, but he did everything exactly how the Victory Lap was beautiful.
Hey, just how like his last album was called Victory Lap, bro.
Grammy nominated, you know, and he took that Victory Lap. He definitely deserved it, man. And like his mom said, she's at peace with him passing. Yeah. Because he really did. He was a true king, really.
I hear that.
Well, let's get into some songs about Nipsey.
Yeah, who's gonna go first? Who wants to play their favorite?
Let's have our guest go first. Let's go. What's your favorite track?
My favorite track by Nipsey Hussle is called The Hustle Way.
The Hustle Way.
The Hustle Way.
All right, let's plug it in, Nemo.
Bullets have no name.
Look. Do I love it? Do I lust? The struggle of a hustler, the life of a bank, and death is no stranger. I know.
Where were you when you first heard The Hustle Way?
I do not remember specifically where I was at. I do know I was listening to it on a laptop though, and YouTube does like that autoplay thing. So I was listening to something, and then that came on, and just how it starts off, da-doom, 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 da-doom. And it's just hearing his lyrics and everything, it was just very deep. I feel like he takes you to a place, and you can feel and see everything that he's talking about.
It just kind of makes you want to hustle.
But yeah, Nipsey makes me want to get all types of money and keep it to myself. All money in.
Motivation
all
music.
Money in.
All money in.
Real talk.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get into the next track. Nemo, what favorite track is your Nipsey track?
My favorite Nipsey track is actually the first track I heard from Nipsey back in 2008. The Game actually introduced me to this song. Not personally. But I do have a story with me and Game on the stage, but that's a whole different story. But yeah, so
wait, I want to hear it.
No, we'll talk about it later.
Okay. Bye. He's shy. All right,
let's get it.
Snips rolling on Slauson. Just rolling on Slauson.
All right, so we talked about your favorite track.
Yeah. That right there was Nipsey Hussle featuring The Game. They Roll off his mixtape Bullets Have No Name Volume 2. And that came out back in 2008, and that was the first time I heard Nipsey. And this song actually, for me, is real deep in my life because this is around the same time I moved to Flint, Michigan for the first time.
Okay.
And so, like, I first heard Nipsey, and, like, music was what got me through living in Flint. Because even before the water hole thing in Flint, like, Flint was horrible, bro.
Yeah.
Tell me about the water hole.
The water hole? No, the whole,
like the whole
The
water
hole.
Like,
I was flashing back to Lion King right now. The water hole.
Hey, it's like that. Low key, it's like that. Everybody trying to get water out there, clean water. No, but the whole. Long story short, in Flint for the past 5 years, people have been having water that they have to bathe with, drink with, cook their food with that has high lead toxicity in it.
Yeah, the toxicity in the children of Flint is so bad that it's in like the 80th percentile of how terrible.
And that can affect them for the rest of their life.
For the rest of their life. I met a young girl last year when I went to go visit my pops. He still lives out there to this day. She was born with birth defects, and one side of her face is droopy and one side is regular. She talks with a slur. It just hurt my heart, you know. But anyways, yeah. So this song really got me through like living in Flint, and it was like, damn, Nipsey, like the West Coast is back, because I grew up a Game fan. Like when Game came out,
same here.
That was like, damn, like the West Coast is back.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and then he bring out Nipsey. It's like, dude, this the new Snoop. Like, bro, like this was amazing. Like, and then like I remember trying to show people, like put people on back in Michigan with Nipsey, and they're like, what the fuck is this? Like back in that time, they were only on Gucci and Waka and shit like that. So when this shit came out to me, it was like, bro, this is love right here. The West Coast is here.
Yeah, I got you.
I love it.
Yeah, that's my favorite Nipsey track. Rest in peace.
There you go. Let's get into Blue Laces 2.
Hey, she been geeked to play this. This is my track, bro.
So did she write that's your favorite track, V?
I've been waiting. I'm gonna tell you why after we peep it right now.
And I can't wait to talk about the third verse on this track.
That's real.
It's real.
That's deep right there. That's deep.
You already know you already know about it.
So let's get deep.
Yo, it's Keith, man. Don't change that dial, man. You with Tastemakers, man. Dash Radio, man.
Yeah.
Did that hit you guys? Like it hit
Blue
me?
Laces too?
That hit me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It always hit. That's actually between that and Double Up. Those are my favorite tracks on Victory Lap.
Blue Laces 2, I picked this track because the verses, the lyrics, you can just hear there's so much to think about in the verses. And when I was listening to this song, I was going through a transition period in my life where I was working, had my headphones on in a warehouse, and I was, doing orders, packaging, and doing stuff. And I was like, wow, who is this? You know, because I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not gonna act like I listened to him growing up and everything, like I knew who he was. I discovered him last year, and I thought that after listening to just this song, how powerful he was by just listening, he talked about Dr. Sebi. He talked about, his life and like what it meant to him, and like questioning our government society. Like you mentioned earlier, you were talking about what verse?
I was talking about Spook by the spook who sat by the door. Yeah, which is a crazy reference. I've never heard about that, and I looked it up, and it's actually on YouTube. The quality is horrible, but it's on YouTube. It's about a gangbanger from Chicago who carried himself really well. He had a clean record, clean cut guy. CIA needed a black person for political reasons, so he said, "Oh, okay, this is a perfect time for me to come inside. Do what you guys need for the political reasons, but also I can elevate and cultivate my community and my people, and we're going to use these same tools and these same tactics against you." And when I really read it and saw it in the movie in its whole entirety, I'm like, this guy is like, again, I was just mind blown, like, wow, Nipsey, because for me personally, with The Wise and Wealthy, we have a conscious community, and all they do is sit and talk that talk nonstop. And for me, I want to talk that talk, but it was about how I got it across. And I wanted to get it across in a very, kind of like a spook who sat by the door, through a production company, through, music, through different avenues, not just all in your face, rah, 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 rah. So I really love that, because that reference sat with me so well. So well.
And we talked about a little bit off air about the conspiracies of like the gang, because we know that Nipsey was going to meet with the police to figure out a peace treaty for, the streets and coming together with, the police. So what did you guys hear about that? I'm just curious of what you guys know.
All I just know is that next day before he was murdered, he was going to talk to LAPD to talk about the gang violence in his community and try to cease that, but streets politicking, saying there's a lot of people that did not want that shit to go down.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and just to jump back on that, that's really, like you said, just the politics of the streets. So many people that's in jail behind this gang stuff. So many people that's lost their life and family members to this gang stuff. And now you're like, you want us to be cool with these enemies. You want us to just forget about that. And it's so unfortunate, but I've always thought about that. I've always thought about, I understand you lost this person, but are we going to keep losing people? Are we going to keep causing that turmoil? Or are we going to keep going backwards?
Hey, that's funny you mentioned that, because I remember a few years back, after a Nipsey concert, a few homies that were there got into a shootout with like Nipsey's people and shit, and the homie got paralyzed and my cousin got shot. At that time, I was like, man, I ain't even fucking with Nipsey's music. Like, fuck all them niggas, you know? But then I had to really think about it. Like, at the end of the day, that's not my that's not my battle.
Right.
You know, so I just like, and as a black man, even Kendrick says like, hey, K-Dot, why you do a song with Nip? He
a better crip.
He a better crip.
Yeah.
He said, you hear the words out his lips though?
Yeah, you know, so it's like, you just got to think about that. At the end of the day, this man was doing something different, you know, so I couldn't just judge you off,
man,
your homie, you know.
Just a quick side note, years ago, when I just saw this, it was going crazy. I love this whole peace treaty thing because years ago, when I first got out of high school, I don't know why, but I had these red Vans and I had these blue Vans. And at one point in time, I wore both of them. One red on the right foot and then a blue one on the left foot.
That's dope.
And a lot of people at first thought it was corny. They was like, why are you doing this, man? And the first thing I would say is gangbang gotta stop. That's all I would just say. Gangbang gotta stop. But when I really broke it down and thought about the hundreds and 20,000, 30,000 black men that we've lost to the streets, the future doctors, lawyers, principals, and things like that. And I'm like, oh, I'll do the gangbang. And I got homies that's doing 24 years. I got homies that got shot 9 times, moved away. And I'm just like, it's not the future that we want to, we want to see. So seeing this whole peace treaty, it just takes me back to years ago when I was wearing my red and blue van as just that symbol of peace treaty just in my head first,
Yeah. Do you think gangbanging has evolved to a better place now?
Hell
or is
no.
it still the same?
Hell no.
No.
Hell no.
Seeing people like, 6ix9ine? No.
Hell no. I can gangbanging used to actually really mean some shit. You were really protecting the people that were walking around your community and everything. You would help buy them groceries and everything.
Yep.
But now it's just about how many bodies I can get, just to show off with somebody,
That's so sad.
I don't know, I know for sure Blood, a lot of people, Blood used to stand for Black Leadership Original Organization Development.
I've never known that.
I read that, yeah.
I never knew that. That's dope. I never knew that. I knew about the Crip, because where I come from, I knew, community resistance and progress.
More side notes, I love it.
Just a little quick, a little funny. For people that don't know, after Nipsey passed away, I do have a production company. Another side note. Mm-hmm. One of my rooms in my house is where I do all of my office work. I make my clothes, I record, and things like that. Mm-hmm. When Nipsey passed away, it was extremely easy for me to walk into my room and make, a shirt about Nipsey Hussle.
Oh, yes. I did want to talk about this
make
too.
a shirt about Nipsey Hussle.
Yes.
So the shirt, the way the shirt reflected our pain and our emotions. Mm-hmm. They killed Nipsey. That's what it says on the shirt. They killed Nipsey, man. We gave a few shirts out and somebody posted. I don't remember who did specifically, but a few people posted. And then 5 minutes after they posted, someone got a hold of it, commented, sent this long message. I hope all the proceeds are going to Nipsey Hussle's family, things like this, X, Y, and Z. And I was like, whoa. And then, I guess I didn't respond as fast as they would like me to, as quickly as they like me to. So they screenshotted it and then posted on their own page. Mm-hmm. And was just like, hey, everybody, they were subscribed, had 50,000, they were subscribed. They were verified, had about 50,000 followers on Instagram. And they just was just throwing, I'm not going to say throwing shots. He was very professional, but he was just like, I just feel like this should go to this and this should do this. I can't tell you how to run your company. And then I just had the whole East Coast just going to the website like, wow. That's
so this is someone from the East Coast.
This is all from the East Coast. And but like I said, the guy kept it professional. He said, I don't know. I don't want to assume. I don't know if you know Nipsey personally. I just kind of want answers. That realm of someone passing away that powerful and that impactful is always going to be sensitive. Always. Yeah. But who didn't wear shirts that said they killed Tupac? Who didn't wear Tupac shirts today? Right. So it's not people, profiting off of someone's death. It's just people showing love and support.
So did you tell him you are from Crenshaw? You did grow up.
I did.
But I have to say with because the other day, like I said, I was on Crenshaw and Slauson, and it was just weird seeing people in the middle of the street selling t-shirts.
Yeah.
No, now when I think about it, it's because I know on the Marathon website, sweatshirts are going for $100 right now.
I can't afford that.
Yeah, exactly. So there's people who want to pay their respect. So I guess
I can't, and I'm not gonna let them be another hashtag. I have a platform. I have a way where I could definitely shine light forever. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna make a t-shirt. I didn't think that I'm not gonna say my little proceeds, but I didn't think that anything that I made would be able to make a significant difference to go to Lauren London or the Crenshaw store, the Marathon store, and hey man, here's the few dollars I made from the shirts. Here you go. Because then I feel like the narrative is going to be, you need to leave them alone. They're grieving. thing, give them some time.
I think from an outsider, like not knowing, exactly you, but like what you're telling me about your brand and what you're doing, you're from Crenshaw. I think Nipsey, what they would say is like, no, we want you to grow your business. We want you to go on and do better things. Like, we're happy that you are where you are now. And I think that's what the narrative should be.
And I agree. That's why I didn't go off and just pop off like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. Watch out, you're on the East Coast. Because the emotions were high. They love Nipsey. I don't know how Nipsey touched them. So I just went on and made sure I let them know I am from LA. We completely support Nipsey. I went to Crenshaw High School. All we are trying to do is shine light and show as much love as we can for him. I don't want to just put another RIP shirt. Because it's like I said, it feels like an execution. It's like they killed him. They took him away from us. So my emotion and that exact thoughts was what reflected on the shirt, which was, they killed Nipsey.
And as a brand, if you're going to be really authentic, you have to, put your content out there. You got to be creative and do what you believe in.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And it was crazy. My phone was going off because like I was saying off air, I get real-time notifications when people is on the website. And I was getting notifications from Maryland, Virginia, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut. Like everyone was flooding to the page just to see the shirt, but I only made a small batch because I just thought it was going to be my friends that just was like, yeah, man, let me get one. But then once it started getting kind of a little bit more global where everybody was like, let me get one. I had someone purchase one from New York, and it was what it was, but I was just like, whatever. I understand. It was very, the emotions was high, but it is what it is. I'm from LA. I do this, and rest in peace to Nipsey, man.
Rest in peace to Nipsey, and I respect your hustle.
Thank you.
And
I like
Nipsey,
how you did that.
And Nipsey would too.
Real shit. Yeah.
So before we leave, we're just gonna break the ice a little with some questions. It's called Pull the Plug. So you're going to pull the plug right now. So this isn't really a plug. I'm trying to find a plug. This is a hat.
She's trying to She's trying to get me in trouble again.
You're thinking about it that way.
All right. What skill would you like to master?
See, that's not that bad.
Yeah, that was a good question.
Yeah.
What skill would I like to master? That's just such a great question. Communication. I think that's a really good skill to be able to communicate thoroughly, knowing your personnel, knowing how to get across to people. Because some people you can talk to straightforward, tough love. Some people you may have to throw a curve so they can get it that way. Some people it takes them some time for it to grow and for them to get it. So I think that's one of the skills that I'm always working for, trying to master, just communicating.
Likewise, man. I know we both share the love for radio and communicating, and it's so funny because like I told someone that, and they're like, "Oh, well, you're already good at it." I'm like, "Nah, not really." Yeah. Okay, go for one other one.
Okay, one more. All right. What are you most looking forward to in the next 10 years?
Hey, that's a good question.
That's an awesome question. So again, shout out to Nipsey Hussle. He taught me a lot about ownership. So what I'm looking to do with my production company and our brand, we have a few investors. So we're looking to open up like a storefront where we have our production company, we have our merch, we have a lot of different brands that's up and coming that comes in and out of there. And after that, I want to own that shopping center. I want to put other things in there, a barbershop, just other culture related things where we can push a really good positive message. Because only the culture is going to save the culture. So barbershops is where a lot of authentic, great culture comes from and where it's at. So that's what I want to do. I see myself owning a few businesses.
So you got to get into commercial real estate. You got to get into some real estate, like Nips.
Yep. I just see just owning, just straight ownership. That's where I see in straight 10 years.
Super dope. Let's get to one more.
Okay, one more. Last one. Where is the most interesting place you've been? I would say Horny Corner.
Horny Corner.
I'm so mad.
Tell me about it.
Horny Corner.
I'm mad I missed that.
For the TheWiseNWealthy Beach Tour, you guys got to come out this year. We got it every year. It's an annual event. It's a pop-up shop. But at Horny Corner, it's like thousands of people. It's like a block beach party.
Where is this at?
It's in Long Beach. The beach is called Horny Corner.
Horny Corner.
And
you throw these
so the event is for the 4th of July every year. So everyone's just already there for the 4th of July. What we do is we have a pop-up event. We have a performance where we have a lot of artists. We give out merchandise, stickers, clothes, and we just have a good time.
dope.
But that place is interesting.
Okay, maybe I'll be there 4th of July.
You should come. You gotta get turned. You gotta get drunk, and it's fun.
I'm down. I need some vacation.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's people everywhere.
So where can we find Wise and Wealthy?
You can find us on Instagram at TheWiseNWealthy. And you can also check us out. We can check out our website at www.TheWiseNWealthy.com. But between Wise and Wealthy, it is the letter N, because when it comes to like certain things, the and sign doesn't work.
Gotcha.
So it's Wise and Wealthy with the letter N.
And do you consult and help people with production or help individual artists?
Yeah, we help. Well, it's the people that we help is so vast. It's artists, it's videographers, it's models, it's brand ambassadors, it's all around creatives that's just looking for a direction, looking to do something with their content, with their brand. We sit down and consult with them, see where they want to go, and see how we can help them out. All
right, so you guys heard it from Eric. If you guys need help, guidance in the industry, production, he is there for you. Check out his merch, his website, and we're going to leave it at that. Thank you for coming.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
I respect your story and what you're doing, and I can't wait to see more work out there.
Thank you.
Nemo?
Yeah.
Where can we find you? Because we never can find you.
Never can find Nemo.
Yeah.
But Nemo always find me, so shout out to you again, brother.
Yeah, for sure. I always got you, But if you're really looking for me, you can catch me on IG at OG Smoke Poppy.
That's where he hangs out.
If you're really looking for him.
Yeah, if you're really looking for me.
He hangs out in the smoke.
No, if you're really looking for me, like I'm in my backyard rolling up a blunt. Like,
there you go.
Come match one with me. No weirdos though.
Facts, big facts.
Yeah,
no weirdos.
No weirdos.
Good vibes only.
And as always, I'm Vtheplug. You just plugged in to my show, Vtheplug.
Hey, tune in next time.
Peace. Awkward end.